the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Friday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. I'm Anthony Hartwig, and as you can tell, not in the studio. I'm at my desk in the office because, well, we can't get anywhere without glitch gremlins.
And hold on, there we go. Just had to change us. Glitch Gremlins are attacking yet again, but we're on pace too, and we're on track.
Yeah.
We still have a good show preloaded for you guys today too, with a couple of interviews from down at Class B.
So story time. Here's what's going on. There is an Alexa that is tied to the lights in the studio, and it has lost its connection to the lights or something. And the switch for the lights, the manual switch, is behind our audible call backdrop, which I cannot get to. So that's why I'm at my desk in the office. But the show must go on. And like Ty said, we have a great show for you with two members of the Dura Edge 18U team that pulled off the upset of the third-seeded Avalanche last night.
And you want to talk about a game that was 4-0. Dura Edge wins that one. And looking at this one, too, just since we're going right into it, pitcher of the game and one guy we're going to get a chance to talk to, Braden Gebhardt, was truly as good as you can really get. 6 2/3 innings, a shutout baseball, allowing just one hit on the day. And honestly, the 2 walks, got 1 hit by pitch, 4 base runners the whole game, and only 1 hit, which was eventually erased with the caught stealing. And also on top of that, 12 strikeouts for Gebhardt. He was dealing on all facets last night. The lefty, YSU commit, Howland graduate too, that you're going to be seeing him in the area for some time. Really was dealing last night, and you got to feel guys like Coach Bertolini are looking at that, and they got a big smile on their face knowing what they're about to get.
How about Dura Edge? They've played since Monday. They've had to win 2 in a row to keep their season alive. They won on Tuesday, won on Wednesday, and now they come back on a Thursday against a really fresh Avalanche team that was just sitting and waiting. And they go and they get the win, and they do it with pitching. So that's surprising. I thought if they were going to win, it would be with offense. But no, they shut down this Avalanche team with Gebhardt, who pitched a heck of a game. And, the whole rust versus rest argument, well, Avalanche kind of settled that in this case because they sat around for a little bit and their bats just went cold.
And big arms show up at the most important times of the season. And like I've said, too, anytime you get into tournament, it's pitching that kind of dictates where you're going to go and how far you're going to go. You need arms to step up. Gebhardt stepped up big time. He didn't have the best numbers in the Bob Scene season. He wasn't leading categories like that, but he stepped up because he's a good pitcher. We've seen him and what he can do with Howland against some really good AAC lineups and other good D1 lineups. He showcased again, too, the kind of stuff that he has on full display last night.
Dura Edge's lineup wasn't that bad either. They had a guy that was, one double away from the cycle?
If he would have had another at-bat, man, I think he would have got it. Jack Cale was 3 for 3. Started off the first inning with a solo home run to right that probably hit the shed that sits in between Field 1 and Field 2 at Bob Scene Park, if you know what I'm talking about. Then in the third inning, he hits the triple. So he gets the 2 hardest legs out of the cycle out of the way. Boom, boom. And then he also gets an RBI single in the 5th. Jack Cale was haunting Avalanche pitching, and he was the one guy that was really hurting them all night. And I mean, on a solo tear too, the shortstop, my guy, he was tearing it up at the plate too, and you got to watch out for him. He's heating up at the right time.
He just needed one more at bat. Just one more, 3 for 3.
He was so close too. He was so close. I think he was on the on deck circle, so he was right there in the 7th inning. Just came up shy.
So that brings it to this question, which I had as soon as I heard that he had the cycle last night. So let's say he gets up 4th at bat, he hits a borderline single double. You know he's pushing it, right?
Oh, you have to.
Like he's got to push it.
I think you got to try at that point, too. I mean, not many people have been able to hit for the cycle down at Bobstein Park. It's a tough thing to do because there's really good pitching down there. Not to mention, just hitting for the cycle against these kind of arms anyway is tough to do. So Jack Cale coming one leg short, but nothing to be ashamed of in his performance. 3 for 3 with a home run, a triple, and an RBI single. That's production on all levels, and that's what you love from your number 2 hitter.
Unless it's like a tie game or you're down by one, or it's like a big situation. I'm pushing that single to a double, even if it's a 80% chance I'm getting thrown out. I'm taking that cycle.
Gotta go for that cycle, right? I mean, but that's what we saw too from the batting. Top of the lineup was haunting Avalanche. Jack Cale especially was a marked man for the Avalanche. He was tearing it up. But of course, you max that, you get just enough offense, and you pair it with a phenomenal pitching performance by Braden Gebhardt. That's pitching at the highest form of art, I think, is what we saw Gebhardt dealing. He was just not wasting any time, just getting into his motion, just dealing strikes. A lot of first pitch strikes, got ahead of a lot of batters, and it was just gravy from there.
Avalanche was only able to get 2 hits, I think, on the night.
Avalanche had Julian Trott had a single in my scoring, and that is the only other base hit. We had Michael Ehrman, who had a pair of walks, and Julian Trott was also hit by a pitch, but no other hits, walks.
Is that the game you did? You did Avalanche during Edge?
Yep.
I thought you were scheduled to do Whiting and
I was, but there was some scheduling conflicts that happened at Bobstein Park where scene 1 needed to be covered. So Quinn called me up and asked me if I can switch to that, and we did video only at scene 3, and I went and made sure scene 1 got covered. So I did both of the games that were happening over there.
All right, then let's venture over to the other 18U game that was on scene 1, and it was Nightline against Athletics round 2. Same result, though. Nightline gets the win, and they move on in the playoffs.
And, I mean, it was, again, what do you expect pitching? Pitching that showcases it. Madden Bohm, hey, you got Jake Papagallo, you got Ronnie Harper. Well, guess what? There's a third head to this dragon right now, and his name's Madden Bohm. 7-inning complete game, one run allowed to 9 strikeouts. And you want to just talk about dealing. How about this, too? Madden Bohm goes 4 1/3 perfect innings before allowing the first base runner in the 5th. So you start off 4 1/3 perfect. That's shutting down a lineup. Athletics really just didn't have enough time. They did get a run in the 5th, thanks in part to an RBI single by Isaiah Torres. But looking at that 5th was their biggest opportunity. They had the bases loaded, but he struck out Lucas Lancaster, did Ben Bohm, and that got him out of that inning. And ever since then, he went 1, 2, 3. He allowed an error, then went 1, 2, 3 to follow in the 6th, and same thing, a base hit in the 7th, but had another strikeout and got him retired following suit. It was just a really good pitching performance, and you felt that he had the game well in hand because he was pitching with a lot of confidence since the start.
Yeah, and he's a third head to that 3-headed dragon that you said, so Nightline's starting to look like King Ghidorah out here.
And the way it sets up, too, which is really interesting before I get, I guess, a little bit deeper into this Nightline Athletics game, is because the way it shapes up, it's higher seed faces the lowest seed in the playoffs. So now because Dur Edge, which was the 6th seed, beat 3-seeded Avalanche, Nightline now doesn't have to face Astro until the championship if they can get there. They have a matchup with Creekside, and you remember, Nightline owns wins against both Creekside and Astro.
Now, this is no disrespect to Creekside. They're a great team. I'm not trying to say I'm rooting for anybody. We're totally neutral. We're covering Class B. But wouldn't it just make sense to have Nightline Astro be the championship the way their season series is going?
I mean, it just feels like Nightline is like almost the perfect David to the Astro Goliath right now. if it makes sense, because of just what Nightline's been able to do. Hovering in the middle of the standings, they came out winning all the games in the play-in tournament to get to this point, thanks in part to great pitching performances, a couple of complete game performances by Papagallo and Bohm in this stretch. It feels like they're catching fire at the right time, and they've kind of just been hanging around, showcasing that, hey, we can still beat you. We're still good enough to beat anybody in this league. And I think they're a dangerous team to be in this Final Four, and I don't think Creekside or Astro, not that they're going to be intimidated by Nightline, but I think if there's one team that you didn't want to face necessarily, it'd probably be them, because they're going to bring it.
And you look at the difference between Astro Falcon season series with Creekside and their series against Nightline. Polar opposites. They have owned Creekside all year. Big wins, double-digit wins, not even competitive. And Nightline they have struggled with. So I think they're kind of sitting there. One, they have to take care of Dura Edge, a hot Dura Edge team that's won 3 in a row, and that's never easy. But then they're thinking to themselves, wait a minute, like, who do we really want to play here? We probably want to play Creekside a little bit.
It's going to be interesting. Obviously, at this point, nobody's afraid of anybody in this. I don't believe that. And I like the two kind of wild card teams. I think Dura Edge being a surprise kind of team that's entered in this, that not that no one was like thinking of, but they were one of those teams that was just kind of hovering there. You saw them kind of waiting in the wings, looking at the play-in tournament, but you didn't really think after they dropped that first game, it was looking glim for Dura Edge.
They got beat up on Monday in the game 1 of the play-in round. It wasn't close. They had to come back and kind of pick themselves up, and they did in a big way. And I got to apologize. Mad respect to Dura Edge, because I thought you'd run out of gas in last night's game, but you did not at all. You took that early lead like I thought you did. They scored in the first inning, and I was like, okay, it's going just as I thought. Nope. They held on to it. They never ran out of gas once.
Gebhard was the guy that kind of took that rock and he carried it forward, and we saw the same thing with Nightline over Athletics and what Madden Bohm did. Big RBI too from Mikey Shortino. We know that name as well. RBI single and a sac fly RBI, 2 RBI day for him of the 4 runs for Nightline, and he helped get things going with the first runs brought in the game back in the first, and he did it again in the third, bringing home the second run of the game. So he really got that offense, that offensive motor turning. And Madden Bohm did the rest from there on out.
I got to say, Ty, I think Madden Bohm is on the all-name team.
I think so, too. It's a great name, too, and he's a great arm, and he really completes that trifecta for Nightline.
Say he's on the all-Madden team.
I think, honestly, too, with the way it's set up, you need 3 pitchers in about a 5-game series, and even in a 3-game series, I like your chances if you got Ronnie Harper, Jake Papagallo, Madden Bohm on the mound. If those are my 3 guys that I'm tossing out there whenever I want to, 1, 2, 3, that's triple aces too. You almost have the 4 aces in the hand too. You got 3 aces to throw out. It's a comfortable position for Nightline because they're not the most well-versed offensive team. They're not going to put up 10 runs a game. They're not one of those teams. They're one of those teams that they're going to score enough runs. They're going to hover in the 4, 6, 7 run range. They're going to get just enough to beat you, and their pitching is going to do the rest. They got a lot of good arms that pitch with a lot of confidence. Even when they're pitching down and they don't have their best stuff, they know how to kind of bend but not break, and they really do a good job of managing damage control.
Now in 18U, you look at it, it turns into Nightline versus Creekside, Astro Falcons versus Dura Edge, and Creekside and Astro Falcons have been sitting waiting in the wings as the first and second seed teams, and teams have been playing for a week, and we're going to have the same debate that we had yesterday. Is it more valuable to have that rest and come into this game fresh, or is it more valuable to have the momentum of the wins bring you into these games? We're going to learn a lot tonight about what way the wins are leaning in that argument.
It certainly is going to be interesting because these are the two best teams in the league in Creekside and Astro and the 18U.
By far. I mean, Creekside had that 2 spot locked up.
Yeah, so these are the two best teams record-wise in the division. But like we've said, it does play a factor that these teams have played in how many elimination games now. I mean, Nightline maybe not as much, but Dura Edge, especially going against Astro. And if there's anything that kind of pays dividends, yes, you're going up against a 2-loss team in Astro Falcon. Yes, they're a giant. They're a beast this year. They look really good. But there is something that has to be said for Dura Edge having played in how many elimination games now, coming out on top of them, getting themselves to this point where Astro hasn't had to play in that kind of competition, hasn't had to be in that mindset yet. There's kind of a mental advantage, I think, going into this for Dura Edge. And this is where, like you said, Ant, where you might see Dura Edge grab an early lead. Astro will likely respond, but we'll have to see how the game will turn out.
Both teams won an elimination game last night because it was win or go home at that point. Dura Edge has won an elimination game on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and now on Thursday. So they've won 3 elimination games in a row.
And there's something to be said about these teams playing in the clutch and playing and fighting for their season's lives. So Dura Edge has fought and clawed their way to this point. You know they're going to give it their best shot at Astro.
And I believe these are, 2 out of 3 for semifinals?
I think it's best 2 out of 3 and then best of 3 of 5 for the championship.
So it's going to be an exciting weekend and the last week of the season in Class B baseball. After next week, we'll know who our champions are.
Yeah, and the season's starting to wind down as we're going to be saying goodbye to Class B baseball, saying hello a little bit more to Little League, but that's going to be wrapping up before we know it here as well, too. And before we know it, we're going to be right back into the high school season and talking football, volleyball, golf, and all those other sports, soccer as well.
Little League baseball will be over next week too. I mean, as far as their district goes, if whoever wins this district will go on to state. So not the actual whole baseball will be done, but our coverage of the Field of Dreams will be done next week for baseball. Ty, I guess we should go from the 18U bracket down to the 16U championship series. Whiting took control of game 1, and they have a 1-0 lead in the series.
And this was an interesting game as well because Whiting grabbed a 3-0 lead in the first inning. Creekside responded in the top of the second with 2 runs. It stayed 3-2 up until the top of the fourth, where Creekside tied it up in the fourth inning. And after 4 innings, it was a 3-3 game. But it seemed like at that point, once they tied it up, they couldn't take the lead. I think Whiting getting out of that game or getting out of that fourth inning with just a tie, I think it kind of lit a fire under their sails because they came out, they shut them, Creekside out in the 5th inning, and they put up 4 runs in the bottom of the inning, and they never looked back from that point. And you really look at Whiting's lineup, it's just the top of the order, bottom of the order really carried it. 3 guys contributed all the hits for Whiting, 8 hits for Whiting. Owen Keister hit 3 for 3 at the top of the order, number 1 hole hitter. Kason Holland at the 10 hole, was 3 for 4 on the day, 3 hits, 3 RBIs, and Aiden Leindecker, another guy we know, had 3 runs scored, and he was 2 for 4 on the day. But 3 guys getting 8 hits, and all of that bringing in 9 runs on the day as well. And this is the big thing we see with Whiting. Nate Thomas didn't have a hit, brought home a run. Nick Thomas didn't have a hit, brought home a run. It's guys like that are being able to be productive with their outs and still bring home runs. Nathan Craig, another example of that, bringing home 2 RBIs without even having a hit on the game. That's just being able to be productive, taking walks if bases are loaded, being able to get sac flies, hit grounders. That's what Whiting's been able to do all season. They showcased it in game 1.
They are 2 wins away from winning a Class B championship, which I think would be the biggest shock of the season. If you would have told anyone at the beginning of the year Whiting is going to win a Class B championship, they wouldn't have believed you. And here they are, 2 wins away.
Do you think it gives all these other teams hope, and any other teams aspiring to join in hope that they can kind of bring a team to this level?
Whiting last year was one of those teams that was competitive. They got in games, they'd be scrappy in 16U and in 18U, but now it's like they're a bona fide program. So it proves that if you keep working at it, you keep kind of building. And look at the 14U season they had as well. I had a really good season in the 14U as far as their record goes. So their 16U and their 14U, they're set. And these 16Us are going to be 18Us next year. So everyone better watch out.
I'm excited to see what Whiting's going to be looking like. And these 14Us will be 16Us. And you're going to see that success kind of carry on. And it like – Scotty loves to talk about the parity in leagues too, but that's exactly what we've seen in this Class B league, and Whiting a perfect example of parity can equal success, and that's what we've seen.
And it's good for the sport that a dominant team kind of gets shown that there is parity. Everyone wants to see, except you. Everyone wanted to see the Patriots lose. Everyone wanted to see the Yankees lose in the '90s. So other than Yankee and Patriots fans, it's kind of good for every other fan base when those kind of teams get knocked off.
And to do it against a team like the Astro Falcons to get to this point, like Whiting has, a team that's notorious for getting to this stage, and you knock them off to prevent them from getting to the stage. Not even at this stage, you beat them in the round to get there. I think that's huge for Whiting, and I think they're riding with a lot of confidence. And the biggest thing with baseball, we talk about how much of a mental game it is. Talk about a bunch of kids that are going into at-bats, stepping onto the mound that are just fully and wholeheartedly believing in themselves. It's a huge boost for the roll-offs, and it's exciting to see they get a Game 1 win in emphatic fashion.
I apologize in advance. I'm going to be distracted a lot today because I'm right next to our big picture window.
A lot of people walking by.
Every time someone walks by, pulls up, I'm going to be like, "What are you doing?"
I know we promoted it on socials, Ant, but we do have a couple of guests joining us, both from Dura Edge. We're going to be talking about their win last night, as well as some future plans too, as well as some future games and what they're looking to with the Astro Falcons. So coming up at 1:00, it's going to be Braden Gebhardt, as we mentioned too, and that is the YSU commit, Hallen graduate, and great left-handed pitcher. And then also 12:30 before that, we're going to be talking to Jack Cale, who is signed to play down at Columbia baseball, and he's from Peters Township graduate as well. So the man who has 3 legs of the cycle from last night, Jack Cale, at 12:30, followed by Gebhardt at 1:00.
Reminder, that is not Colombia like the country. Just so everyone
Yeah.
knows. You can't go to South America.
Yeah, Colombia, South America. No, Jack Cale, though, and Braden Gebhardt both committed to play at the next level. So we'll be excited to talk to them about that and kind of what led into those decisions as well.
Absolutely. I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for the talk of the weekend because we have a lot to talk about for the weekend slate. Like every weekend that we've had so far, there are a good number of games to be talked about.
There's a great number of games to be talked about. Indeed, over the weekend, we got some championship games and series that are going to start tonight and head well into the weekend. So we're going to have
hold everything, Ty, because all the craziness made me kind of forget it's Friday, which means we are also giving away Scrappers tickets.
I was going to mention something about that too. We still have the Scrappers tickets. You left the tickets, or at least the prop tickets, in the dark office.
Hold on, I'll go get them on our commercial break.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I guess that's a perfect time to segue into our commercial break. When we get back, we could talk about the Scrappers tickets and the giveaway and how you can get yourself 4 tickets to any Mahoning Valley Scrappers home game. And we'll be talking about all that, plus a couple of interviews coming up too, starting at the 12:30 hour. All that and more coming up on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa.
And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing.
Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships.
We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team.
Your goals, our game plan.
Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
Jimmy Sudman here. Jimmy Sudman here, director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
How lucky are we to have not one, but two 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring PGA professionals, golf instruction, a players rewards club, kids programs, and a pro shop and grill room for a memorable golf experience. Call or click to schedule your tee time at Mill Creek Golf Course.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we offer a worry-free experience for all our customers. From sales to financing and even service, we'll help build your perfect vehicle
and lock in your trade value
while your vehicle is being built.
No worries.
We guarantee financing,
regardless of your situation or credit history.
No worries. And when your vehicle needs service,
our award-winning team will get you back on the road.
No worries.
That's what going the extra mile means. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Now is the time to think about your future, where you want to go, what you want to be. Your future can start now at Kent State Salem or Kent State East Liverpool. We have programs that will open doors and provide opportunities for you to pursue your passion. We are affordable, we are close. You call it hometown, we call it Kent State University. Learn more at www.kent.edu/Columbiana. You belong here.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown, Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell. This is a Friday episode, and as every Friday, we're giving away 4 tickets to the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Go to any home game of the rest of the regular season, and all you have to do is answer our trivia question. Ty, what do we have for him this week?
Yeah, for this week too, I want to know the we had it I think before, but I think it's still good for this one. What is the exact date that Eastwood Field opened up? It's been swirling around. We've had it before, and it's easily accessible. The opening date of Eastwood Field. It's really close. I'll tell you that too. We're with it in about a month or so of its, I believe, 23 year anniversary. So you got some time to look it up too. But first one to answer gets 4 free tickets to any home game at the Mahoning Valley Scrappers.
You can answer in the comments section. You can answer on Twitter, wherever you want to answer, wherever your little heart desires.
Yeah, for sure. As we talk about the Scrappers too. I mean, Richard Giuliano been doing a great job too. They've had a home slate, and they're going to continue play, I believe, tonight as well.
They will be back in action tonight against West Virginia. It's a big series tie because the Scrappers trying to climb back into those standings, and West Virginia has climbed all the way up the standings. They're sitting in second right now. Scrappers in fourth. So a big homestand for the Scrappers as they try to gain some ground and take the series against West Virginia, who they've dominated at home so far this season.
I think Glitch Gremlin's attacking again, Ant.
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you now. I think the Glitch Gremlins are gone. I think we're good.
Oh.
You're talking about Scrappers, but yeah, this is 4 seed versus 2 seed in the 4-2 in the division, and this is a big game too for a season-defining series.
I was going to say, did what I said about the Scrappers this weekend come through? Or
Not much of it, no.
Well, the Scrappers are in fourth place. They're playing the second place West Virginia Black Bears, who are a team that they have dominated this season so far, especially at home. So it's a big homestand for the Scrappers. Make sure you get out there. And once again, if you want 4 free tickets, all you have to do is be the first to answer the dates that Eastwood Field opened on our comments section. You will get 4 free tickets to you to any of the last home games on the Mahoning Valley Scrappers schedule.
Yeah, but Ant, before we get to that, we got to get to one of our first interviews of the day and talk about the Scrappers and the guys that are hitting well over there. I'll tell you a guy that was hitting pretty well last night. It was my man Jack Kale for Dura Edge. My man, 3 legs of the cycle completed. He was a double shy, and if he would have had that at bat, I think he would have had it. I mean, Jack, let's start right there, man. You started off with a home run in the first. What were you seeing so well, and what was causing you to be on a tear last night against the Avalanche?
It's just one of those days where you just see the ball well. It looks nice coming in, and you're on time, and just one of those days where everything just finds the barrel.
This is a Dura Edge team that had to fight off elimination a couple of days in a row now. What has been the mindset of this dugout the last couple of days?
I think it's just the energy in the dugout. Our guys, everyone's up. No one's sitting down. Everyone's up on the fence the whole time, wanting to win, wanting to keep playing because, it's a great group of guys who we want to keep playing with and everything. So we just want to keep going as far as we can.
You got to be sitting right there nestled in that 6 hole right behind Gebhardt, who was pitching a gem last night. What is it like, too, when you have your pitchers go through that where they're striking a lot of guys out? How do you stay focused and mentally sharp as you guys did with a really good defensive performance behind them as well?
It's all about reading swings. Like Gebby has got a really good fastball from the left side. So a lot of times I'm adjusting the outfielders, center fielder, left fielder, moving them towards the opposite field because a lot of these guys can't catch up on it. So it's all about reading the swings and trying to be in the best position possible when they do put the ball in play.
So you're the first player from Dura Edge we've been able to interview this season. So I want to ask about the personality of this dugout, what the team's kind of like and how it's been to gel with everybody and get to know everybody this summer.
It's a really fun atmosphere. We got guys who are talking up on the game, sitting on buckets. It's really fun to be in the dugout, and it's great to be a part of it. This is my first year playing with the team as well.
What were the conversations like within the team after you guys dropped that first game of the play-in games and now backs against the wall, we can't afford to lose anymore going forward?
I think we knew that wasn't who we were. It wasn't a representation of how good we were and how good we can play. So we just thought, just come out the next day, forget about it, clean slate, and just play loose and play as hard as you can. And we did that, and things turned out good.
Because you got the upset over the Avalanche, you now get the first seeded Astro Falcons in the next round of the tournament. What's the mindset going forward for this team? I mean, they've already fought off elimination a couple of times. You got to be feeling confident heading into this next series.
Yeah, we're definitely confident. We know this Astro Falcons team. We know they're good, but it's baseball, and we have some really good players like they do. So we go out there, play our game, throw strikes, play defense, hit the ball well, and we can beat anyone.
What would you describe your high school team's personality as playing for Peters Township? Introduce us to that area of baseball and what it's the similarities and differences are going from there to Class B baseball here.
I would say it's similar in the terms of the energy and the competitiveness of the two teams. Like both teams, we were a playoff team in the high school season and obviously a playoff team now. And that playoff atmosphere in the high school season definitely transfers over. Having the experience and just knowing what it is playing like a win or go home game.
Now, those are the things that are similar, but are there anything that's like stylistically different from where you play in high school compared to over here in Ohio where you play for Class B?
I'd say like the travel. We have kids coming from, it's about an hour and a half drive for me. Kids coming from hour and a half, obviously high school. It's a lot different. You just drive 2 minutes to the to the school or to the field or the cages, and you go and hit or practice or play a game. So that part's definitely different for me, at least.
Quick
Getting used to
follow-up.
the drive.
Quick follow-up. From your perspective, what makes that drive so worth it to go an hour and a half to get to Scene Park and get to play there all summer?
It's the competitiveness of the league and getting the at-bats. I love playing the game, and I love getting at-bats and playing against other good competition. So just getting me better and playing the game is what makes it worth it.
I've heard athletes on both sides of the fences where they like the home games because they like the short drive to get right to the stadium. But some that like those long drives to kind of get mentally checked in before a game. Which side of the fence do you fall on? Do you prefer the long drives too? And if so, what's your kind of mental check-ins for those long drives?
I would say I prefer the short drives, but honestly I wouldn't see much of a difference because you got the long drive. It's just the normal ride, and then like the last 15 minutes, I would say I start thinking about the game, what I'm gonna do, like my approach. So I would say they're pretty similar. I wouldn't say I have a real effect. Either one have a real effect on me.
Obviously, it's summer vacation, and you probably filling it with a lot of other stuff outside of baseball. So, what's your favorite thing about summer besides playing baseball?
I'd say the free time, hanging out with friends and stuff. More time to work out, also get stronger. So I like the free time.
You talk about getting stronger, and I know you're looking forward to this upcoming fall, getting your college career started as well down with Columbia baseball. What kind of decisions went into making that decision for you and continuing your baseball career at the next level?
It was a multitude of things. The academics were a real draw to me, being an Ivy League school. Just a great prestigious school and a great reputation. And then the baseball side of it too. Division I baseball, who has a lot of success in the Ivy League. They've won, I believe, 5 out of the last 8 times that there's been Ivy League championships. So they do very well, and they were in the regional finals this year. They lost to Virginia Tech. So they have a lot of success on the diamond. So that really appealed to me.
Was there a moment or a scenario that made you kind of make that decision, or was it a gradual decision that you made during your recruitment process?
I would say when I took my visit there and kind of walking around the city or driving around the city with the coach, because I rode in the car with the head coach, Brett Beretti, and just looking around and walking around the campus, just the city just amazed me, and I knew it was for me.
What I'm curious about is what is your preference or a style that you look for in a coach? So in a sense, when you're going on these college visits, what are you looking for in the coaching style? We know what they're looking for in you, but what are you looking for in a coach?
Just competitiveness and energy and just super animated. And that's what Coach Beretti is. He really wants to win, and the team, making sure the team is in it, and super high paced baseball. Like when I was there for a camp, they were timing us just throwing the ball around the infield. They had a stopwatch timing every ball you hit, whether it was a base in the gap or a fly ball, timing everything. Make sure in your hustle, just a high level of play, really fast.
You've had the opportunity to get coached by a lot of different people throughout your career with travel, high school, whatever it may be. What kind of benefits do you think that makes for you to be able to say that you've been taught by different people with different mindsets and different philosophies?
I think it's really important because baseball is a sport where there are so many different ways to look at it, so many different ways to swing, so many different approaches, fielding a ground ball, everything like that. So to have a bunch of minds teach you and combine together so you can kind of combine them or compare different perspectives is really important because there's no one right way to do something. So having a bunch of different minds together can really help you grow as a player.
In saying all the minds that you've gotten the chance to be taught under, what is some of the best advice you've received from a coach that's kind of stuck with you for a long time?
The best advice I would say is probably my dad. My dad is a big part of my success. He's been my coach since I was young, not necessarily with an organized team. He probably stopped coaching me around 15 years old, but still we go to the cages and hit all the time and take ground balls, throw. He was actually drafted by the Texas Rangers, and he played in the minor leagues. He played at Johns Hopkins, but he taught me the 6 F's of fielding. which is actually a while ago. Let me see if I still remember them, but it's feet, field, funnel, feet, fro with an F, and follow through. So I think that was kind of how I started to learn how to field a ground ball, and I consider that to be one of my strong points of my game is my defense.
I like how they fit Fro in there.
Yeah.
Outside of him, who has been one coach that has really impacted your journey and really like changed the way you look at the sport?
I would say Frank Mergliano, who is my coach at Diamond Dogs, and Ryan Flanagan also. Just two guys who I played with in the summer for the last 2 years, who both played professional baseball at the high level. They helped me a lot in terms of the mentality going to the game, competing, and also with the hitting mechanics and throwing and everything. So they've been a big part of my success.
What is a baseball player that you've had an opportunity to play with that has had some of the most impact on you? Some maybe upperclassmen that you got to play with in your younger years?
Some upperclassmen. When I was a freshman, there was a shortstop who was a senior. His name was Dax Blasquino. And I was coming in as a freshman playing with the varsity team, and he was the shortstop. And I would just always be, doing drills with him and everything, and being behind him and watching him because he was a very good player. And I think just watching what he did and asking him questions really helped me grow at it as a freshman and helped me have success as I grew older and went through my years of high school.
You've obviously been a very successful baseball player, but have there been any other sports that you didn't get to try that you've always wanted to kind of dip your hand in?
Football. I feel like football would have been fun. I played in middle school, but I never played in high school. I thought about maybe playing like as a senior, but I didn't end up doing it. But I feel like football would be pretty fun. I feel like that I could be good at it.
All right, Jack. I mean, you were definitely making people pretty loud last night. You had a loud bat, but I want to know, what is the loudest you've ever made a crowd while playing baseball?
Probably I would say this year in the Whitfield Championship. It's the Western Pennsylvania District Championship that we play in. And I hit in the first inning, I hit a triple in the left center gap, and it was at Wild Things Park, which is where the Washington Wild Things play, a professional team. And it was just the crowd erupted, and it was a really good feeling. And then later that game again, in the sixth inning with 2 outs and a guy on first base, I hit a triple in the right center field gap, and the crowd was really loud, and that's probably one of my best baseball moments.
What is your proudest achievement so far in your life? It could be baseball, it could be outside of baseball.
I would probably say committing to Columbia to play would be my biggest achievement.
Obviously, that's something that is a great thing to have under your belt. Jack, let me give you the opportunity now. We've talked about the advice you've been given. I want to give you the chance to give advice to maybe some younger viewers, younger baseball players that are looking up to guys like you and want to be just like Jack Gale one day and have aspirations at playing at the next level. What's some advice you can offer for those younger players?
I would say work hard every day, get better every day, no matter what you're doing, whether it's practicing, getting stronger, working on your approach, doing anything, hitting off the tee. Just get better every day and work as hard as you can, because you can't play this game for forever. So eventually you're going to have to hang up the cleats, and you don't want to regret anything. You don't want to look back and say, I wish I worked harder. I wish I did this, I did that. Just make sure that you make the most out of your opportunity and just do everything to the fullest.
What are some of your hobbies outside of baseball?
Hanging out with friends, I would say. Working out. Just playing wiffle ball in the yard. I have a good friend who goes to my same high school, who's committed to Columbia. So we like to hang out a lot, play wiffle ball, just do stuff like that.
Where's the best hangout spot in your hometown?
Probably the cages. I like to go to the cages and hit. Got a couple kids from my high school team, just go up there, have fun, and hit.
You look at your whole high school career, and it's certainly been a great one to this point. We look forward to seeing what you can do continuing in your college career. Before we let you go, Jack, we always like to give all of our athletes a chance to thank their support system. So I want to give you a chance to shout out all the people that have been there for you along the way.
Yep, I just like to say thank you to everyone who's made it possible, coaches, family, my parents especially, anyone who's supported me, believed in me along the way. That I thank you for that, and I'll make you guys proud, and I'll make it all worth it.
Jack, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We wish you the best of luck in the next round against the Falcons. We'll have continued coverage of Class B baseball on YSN, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Cat Kale of the Dura Edge 18U team that is punched their ticket into the 18U semifinal series against the Astro Falcons. That'll start tonight on Scene 1. Are they the 5:30 game or the 8 o'clock game? I don't know which one they are.
Let me double check for you real quick. I think I have it up right here. They are going to be. Oh, let me just double check. They are the. Come on, load. Okay, they are the 8 o'clock game. Yes, at Scene 1.
If you're just joining us and wondering why is Anthony at his desk and not in the studio, we had some glitch gremlins. We were trying to take care of the lights on the studio. I can't turn them on. The Alexa lost the connection, and I can't get to the manual switch. So that's why I'm at my desk. And if you're confused why I'm not in the same spot, that's why. So just want to update you on that. We're also giving away 4 free tickets to the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Trivia question this week, same as last week because no one got the answer. What is the date of the grand opening, I should say, of Eastwood Field? And if you give us that, the first to give us that in the comments, you'll win 4 free tickets to any remaining home game on the Mahoning Valley Scrappers schedule, including this weekend, which is a big homestand against West Virginia as the Scrappers try to climb up the standings and beat the current second place team in the draft league.
We could literally get you to a game this weekend. So get in there, answer that trivia question. It's simple. It is, what is the opening date of Eastwood Field, the exact opening date? We're really close to its anniversary too. We're right around that range. We're within a few weeks. So make sure you can look it up, easily accessible, easy to find too. Throw it in the comment section, add us on Twitter, and you can get 4 tickets to the Scrappers.
All right, Ty. So we've talked about the finals from last night, and we've talked about what's coming up a little bit. But what I want to talk about now is kind of these matchups that are now locked into the playoffs. We have Game 2 between Whiting and Creekside, and we have semifinals set in 18U between Astro Falcons, Dura Edge, Nightline, and Creekside. What is some of your observations from where we stand in Class B baseball?
Well, I guess to start off in 16U, this game coming up, it's not necessarily must win for Creekside, but it sure as heck feels like it is. It sure as heck feels like it needs to be, because if Creekside doesn't win this one, falling behind 2-0 to the roll-offs, it's a tall task to beat Whiting 3 times in a row. Not many teams have beaten Whiting more than once this season. So to all of a sudden be tasked with to get the championship, you got to pull off the trifecta 1, 2, 3 in a row against Whiting. It's a tall task. So Creekside, I think, desperately needing a win tonight to even up the series.
It's not a must win, because if you lose, you're still technically alive. But it's a, boy, you better win or you're going to be in a deep hole.
Yeah, it's a hard hole to dig out of then, because you're going to be in a deep hole against one of the best teams riding with probably the most confidence right now in 16U.
Deeper hole than Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Shout out those old. What was that? That was a Disney movie, right? Yeah, I know. I knew it was Holes. I just couldn't remember if it was Disney or if I seen it on Nickelodeon or something like that.
But it's a Disney movie.
Yeah, you knew there was Nickelodeon has their own movies or their own studio movies too.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which studio it came from, but yeah, this is a huge game for Creekside, and they're going to be needing a win. I'm curious to see who's going to take the bump on the mound today for them. It's going to be tasked. Whoever it is, he's going to be tasked with a really big job, and that's getting Creekside a chance to win this ball game tonight.
You can check. I can't. I'm on my phone as it is. How many arms did they throw last night?
The way Creekside threw, I mean, you look at that, it was a total of 4 arms that each threw within an inning, or threw at least 15 pitches, I should say. The one that threw the most was Hunter Jones, who tossed 58, Everyone else, Andrew Cali, 24, Mike Bartow, 15, Hunter Kablaka, 28. So these guys should be available then going forward. And honestly, I don't think I'll double check real quick because I'm curious on Creekside's stats on the season because I don't feel like any of those guys have logged the most innings, but I could be wrong. I just want to double check who's logged the most innings and maybe who we can expect for Creekside in tonight's game because it's definitely going to dictate hugely to see what kind of chances they have to get back into the series. So pitcher-wise, the guys that have logged the most innings, yeah, Adam Connorith is the big guy. Dawson Smale has also logged some innings. Carter Owens, yeah, there's some guys that have pitched really good this season, sporting low ERAs. Your biggest guy, Adam Connorith, 19 and a third innings. He struck out 34, walked 15 in that, and a 1.81 ERA, 5 earned runs. So doing a really good job is Connorith. He's 2-2 on the season. Might be the guy you see. They're going to need a good pitching performance, though, tonight.
They have to put their best foot forward. They got to put whatever it takes, getting in there and throw it.
The big thing for Whiting is they just keep getting big performances from guys. Nick Parado, 5 and a third innings, gave up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 2, struck out 7, but he dealt and ate most of those innings away, competed, and allowed Whiting a chance to win this one. And now you look at what the roll-offs have coming up for themselves, and it starts to become a little bit you start to get a little bit more confident if you're Whiting, just considering the pitching that this team has had too. We overlook the fact that because they have such good hitting and they had all those great numbers early on in the season, but this has been a really good pitching team for quite some time. Brady Mayo has logged 30 and a third innings. He has a 2.31 ERA, so he's been pitching a lot. Nick Parado, who's a guy we saw, he's logged 13 innings, but another guy, Don Bumbliss, has 13 innings logged. He's a 2.56 ERA. So there's a lot of guys here. And also, too, your big ones, Nathan Craig, 38 innings on the year, 1.84 ERA, 43 strikeouts. He's been your workhorse. So you still have Nathan Craig, Brady Mayo that are waiting, plus a few other guys, too, that have logged over 10 innings on this team. Joey Campoli's logged 26 on the year. Isaac Berry's logged 13, a 1.08 ERA. Like, they are deep pitching-wise, and I tell you, that's a recipe for disaster, and that's always one of the toughest teams to beat is the team that can just throw arm after arm after arm after you.
Another reason why you don't want to go down 2-0 to them, because they have another arm they can just throw.
The big thing for Creekside is they've been a team that scores and bursts this season. They put up crooked numbers a lot this year. They need one of those. They need to be able to jump on a pitcher early and hope that they can get one of those pitchers to stay out, and hopefully they leave them out one batter too many, and they can burn them and bring home maybe a crooked number inning, put up a 4-spot, 5, 6 spot in an inning and just try to ride that as far as you can, and hopefully your pitcher shuts them out. That's kind of Creekside's way of winning this season, and that's what they're going to need to look for is just someone to have a really bad inning, and they got to take advantage of it. Timely hits are going to be important for them.
Well, they lost 18-0 in Game 2 against the Avalanche in the semifinal series, and then came back and won Game 3 right after that, 10-3. So they've proven they can bounce back from adversity, and they can bounce back from taking really bad L's. So I don't think they're going to be a team that lays down in Game 2, but they really need it. They need it. Once again, it's not a must-win as far as if you don't, you go home, but it's a boy, you better win.
It certainly is kind of that situation, especially in a 5-game series, knowing that your backs, like I said, are against the wall, and now you have to win 3 in a row, and you know how many pitchers they have depth-wise that have put up some fantastic numbers this season. So you know it's not going to be easy. You know you're going to see a multitude of arms that can beat you in a multitude of ways, strikeouts, groundouts, flyouts. They know how to force weak contact. They know how to overpower you. There's so many guys that throw different arm slots, different speeds, different velocities, and can all get it done. It's a nightmare to try to come back against when your backs are against the wall 3 games in a row. So winning tonight would do a lot of heavy lifting for Creekside.
Hi, we're not done with the baseball interviews from Class B baseball either. We have another member of the Dura Edge 18U team in Braden Gebhardt coming to join us on the show at 1 o'clock. And if that name sounds familiar to you, it should, because he is also a Howland grad and he is a YSU commit. So we're going to be talking to him about his career at Howland, his season at Dura Edge, and the future, what it holds at YSU, and a lot more. I'm excited for this conversation.
I'm excited for it too, as we'll get into our second break of the day here in just a moment. But yeah, Braden Gebhardt, guy was dealing 6 2/3 innings last night, and he hit the pitch count limit, or else he would have completed the game. And he wanted that last out to complete it, but he still pitched a gem, got his team in perfect position to get into this Final Four spot. You got a seat at the table. Let's see if you can eat.
Now it's time, right? If you want to eat, it's the perfect time of day to do it. It'll be right before dinner, and here we go. Dura Edge needs the win, and how big would it be to get that first win of the series, too?
Especially against a team like Astro, and knowing you have a little bit of wiggle room then, getting that first win would do wonders for Dura Edge's confidence then. And it would also wake Astro up, you would think, a little bit. You just hope that doesn't prove to be not beneficial to you then, right?
Eventually they're going to wake up, whether you win game one or they're up in game one. But you just have to weather that storm. I think you gotta find a way through. And I think if Dura Edge loses game one, then the momentum they've been riding might come out of their sails. So they want to make sure they win game one and they can ride that momentum as far as possible. Because even if a team wakes up, if the other team is just gusting with momentum, it's hard to slow that down.
You talk about gusting, you talk about weathering the storm. I'll tell you some people that know how to talk about weather. Our friends over at WFMJ, as we'll thank our friends over there. Move into our second break just before our Braden Gebhardt interview right here as we move into the 1 o'clock hour on YSN's Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens. On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
And on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
But now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
It's a new year at
Welcome back to Running
Point. It's a new year at Acura of Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi with huge savings on over 350 fully inspected vehicles. We have cars, trucks, SUVs, minivans, and work vehicles. We don't have it, our team will find it. We aim for 100% credit approval with payments as low as $99 per month. And as always, we'll pay top dollar for your trade. For a great vehicle and a great experience, come see why everyone is stopping by at Acura Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
You know, being able to have success on the football field and the basketball court and just every aspect of, my sports career is now documented. One of the greatest things about high school sports is to be able to talk about it for the rest of your life and to look back on the days with my buddies whenever we had some battles, whether it was with, our rival or just another game. And I could go back and look at it and, not only myself, but my family members, my teammates, and it's something that will last a lifetime. My name is Parker Sherry, and my sports network is your sports network.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Harvig alongside Ty Bartell. I'm not used to the mirrored image. In this Friday episode of Running Point, we are minutes away from Braden Gebhardt coming on. Actually, we're going to bring him on right now. Braden, the member of the Dura Edge 18U team that just won over Avalanche last night, also a member of the Howland Tigers team that we've covered all season, and a YSU commit. Thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing good.
Man, we're doing good, but I think you're doing even better. I mean, you look at your performance last night, man. You were absolutely dealing dozen strikeouts. You went 6 2/3 innings. I mean, what was working out for you? You were throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, it looks like, and your breaking ball was wickedly moving. But from your perspective, what was working for you?
Honestly, my fastball. A lot of fastballs all night. Really, that was about it. I threw probably roughly 8 breaking balls.
Is that something that you kind of figured out as the game went on, that, hey, my fastball is really electric right now and let's not get away from it?
Yeah. Pretty much after the second inning, I just was like, okay, no one's really touching my fastball yet, so I'm going to pound that until I have to switch something up.
Now, this was a team that you were going against in Avalanche, where you guys have done battle all season long. You guys have shared wins against each other. But what was your mindset when you were going on the bump and you were going to be asked to try to lead this team to the promised land and get them into the Final Four?
Really just win. I'd go out there, do what I can to help our team win. Helped a lot with the bats. The bats have came alive really a lot within the last 3 games. So going out with that 2-up first inning helped a lot. And then really just pound the zone, do what I can do.
This is a Dura Edge team that has been backs against the wall all week. You've saved off elimination a couple of times. What have been the conversations in the dugout and some of the mindset of this team to bounce back from having to fight through elimination games?
We really just keeping energy up. A lot of our players have been talking a lot, encouraging each other, just trying to keep our energies up, stay loose. We got a little tight, played around a lot with like mechanics and stuff when we shouldn't be. So just going out there, having fun really just helped us a lot.
If there was a time where you could wish you had 5 to 10 more pitches on your pitch count, was last night one of them when you had 2 outs in that 7th?
Yeah, really. I would have loved to complete that game, but, It was the first batter. I got 2 strikes on him. I think I threw a ball, maybe 2 balls, and I ended up hitting him. So that sucked, but it's all right.
Now let's talk about this team moving forward, because now you have another challenge ahead of you. How are you guys staying confident, and what's the mindset heading into tonight against the Astro Falcons in Game 1 of this new semifinal series?
Yeah, the Astros are the team you want to beat. Everyone wants to beat them. Really, it's just about just proving what we can do. Really, we have a lot of talent on our team, and we're looking forward to show that in this next series.
Who would you describe this the personality of this Dura Edge team going into it? And if you were to give it an identity, what would you say it is?
I can't even put a word on it. We're I don't know. We're definitely energetic, very energetic. We like to play scrappy, talkative. Really, honestly, talkative. We like to chirp a lot from the dugout.
When you look at this team and the people that you've met, who are some of the best friends that you have that you've been able to grow with on this Dura Edge team?
Anthony Butto and Jake Coral are probably – Anthony's from Boardman and Jake's from Austintown Fitch. Both great players to play against, and I really have had a great time with both of them this season.
You talked to AAC rivals. What's it like to kind of not have to go up against them now in the summer?
It's awesome. I mean, I love playing against them, but playing with them is just 100 times better.
You talked about playing in that AAC, and of course, you're a graduate from Howland High School. Compare your high school experience with baseball to the Class B season. What are some similarities and differences you see in the way the seasons are conducted and the way your play style is in both of them?
Play style wise, I definitely created a good bond with my high school and Dura Edge team, and I get that energy boost when we all play well, same as high school. And then I guess Dura Edge is a little more organized than the high school season was, but we're not trying to work around rainouts and all that went on throughout the high school season.
Yeah, man. I mean, we haven't had a lot of rainouts in this summer. We had a nastily wet spring. So I guess my question is, from your perspective, what was it like to finally be able to get a structured schedule and be playing every day for the week and not having to fight the rain that you did this spring?
It was awesome. It's like I know now when I'm going to be able to pitch, when I am pitching, I'm not going to have to sit there and change up my rest routine because of the rain delays and all of that. So it's pretty awesome and really have came out better than high school.
This kind of playing from behind and playing with the underdog mentality stretched back to the high school season. You guys were the ones that knocked off Fitch and kind of ended their AAC dreams of coming out AAC champs. You're continuing it with Dura Edge. Do you prefer to play with this chip on the shoulder mentality? And if so, what kind of advantages does it give you when you're on the mound?
I do. I feel like I have something to play for, even more than just the team. Being able to prove what us and our team can do really gives me a little edge when I'm on the mound.
All right, so as a pitcher, how important is your relationships with your catchers, and how do you try to build those relationships throughout a season?
It's awesome. It's really important to have a good relationship with your catcher. Throughout the season, I've had multiple different catchers with Dura Edge already. I remember Fitch. I think there was a freshman from Fitch named Nate that I pitched to the first couple games. And then after Montour won state, we got our PA catcher. His name's Matt. He's a guy back there. I love him. He's awesome. Him and I have just kind of clicked ever since he came back, and it's been a ride, really.
Talking about things clicking, what was it that clicked for you on your college visits that made you want to stay local and stay with YSU, go to be a Penguin under Coach John Bertolini?
Man, the campus was just so much better than everywhere else I went. I loved the feel of home, kind of, and being able to play with local guys up at YSU. We have a lot of local guys from Ohio, and I feel it's going to be a great time there playing with all these Ohio kids going up against people from everywhere.
Everyone's recruitment is a little bit different. The recruiting process is different. What was the moment that made you choose YSU?
The moment, how it went was they were trying to reach out to me, and I wasn't getting like their DMs from, I think they were trying to reach out through Twitter, and they reached out to Jim Devine, and he told me that they were trying to reach out, so gave me the number, and I called the coach and talked to him, set up a visit. And pretty much right after that visit, I really loved what they had going on in the weight room. They showed me that, talked to me about campus life. And it was really right after that visit that I figured that I would love to go to YSU and continue my career there.
What is it about you and Coach Bertolini that clicked, and what is it you look for in a coaches too that help narrow your decision down to YSU?
I see how really YSU's program turned around as soon as Coach Bertolini went in there, so I knew he was doing something right. And on the visit, him and Coach Davis, both of their personalities, I really just truly love. They very welcoming, very, very knowledgeable about baseball. I can't wait to go there and play under them.
Not just continuing your athletic career, but also continuing your academic career. What
100%.
are some things are you excited to learn about at YSU, and have you picked a major yet? Do you know what kind of career you want to go into?
Yeah, I'll be studying marketing at YSU, and their business school is absolutely beautiful. It's one of the best business schools I've seen. And the professors, I got to meet the professors already, and they are awesome people. So I can't wait to learn under them. And really, I want to go get my MBA, and I really see high probability of that at YSU.
You talked about this team prior to having a bunch of guys from the area, a bunch of Ohio guys on this YSU team. Does it make you feel a sense of local pride that you're staying so close to home too, knowing that your high school is only going to be minutes away from where you're going to be playing at college?
Yeah, 100%. I'll be having high school guys being able to support the team, family, friends, people I met along the way. Really, it's just going to be awesome to see everyone there supporting. It's going to be awesome to play as the Ohio kids against everywhere.
Now that we know what career you want to go into and the career that you're going to pick, I'm curious to what career you wanted to do when you were a kid. Like when you were growing up, what did you want to be?
I think what I wanted to do when I was a kid is I wanted to race cars. My dad raced cars, and I grew up a little bit at the racetrack, so that always fascinated me.
Have you ever raced?
Be a race car driver.
Have you ever raced anything?
No, I have not, really. Nothing but go-karts, but sorry, I found a new passion.
Ant brings up that. I'll bring up, how about the childhood foods? I feel like everyone has at least like that one food that they did not eat as a kid. Will you still not eat that food? And if so, what is it?
Ooh, I ate everything, really everything. But the one thing that I couldn't eat was celery. But I can eat it now. But when I was a kid, I could not eat celery.
Could choke it down now too. I mean, the texture I could get. People think it's a little weird, but you could choke it down now. I could get that.
Yeah.
From stuff you don't eat, how about stuff that you do? What are some of your favorites, and what are some of your go-to post-game meals? Oh, did we lose him?
We might have lost him there. I think Glitch Gremlins might have tagged him real quick too. As we'll have to see if he'll pop back in though. We'll see if we can get him back in. But
Friday.
Yeah, honestly. But no, Braden Gebhardt too. He's this local guy that's continuing to do big things. There he is. You can re-ask.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
You're all good. Go on, Ant. You can re-ask your question.
So what I want to ask, since we asked you what foods you didn't eat or what foods you don't really like, what are some of your favorite foods, especially a post-game meal?
Post-game meal, I love chicken. I eat chicken all the time. So grilled chicken, fried chicken,
any kind of chicken.
Do you go? Do you prefer spicy side, savory side? You throw a little barbecue sauce on it. What's your like preferred chicken? How do you season it?
Spicy. I love spice. So if I want to cook it grilled, I'll use a lot of like seasonings there, like paprika, cumin, all that. It's awesome. I love hot sauce, huge hot sauce user. So I use hot sauce all the time. And if I want to get a little savory, mix the hot sauce with the barbecue.
I get behind that 100%. That's the move.
Who's the biggest cook in your family, and what's their best meal that they cook?
Me. I cook all the time in the family. But my dad grills. My dad is a mean grill master. So him, when he cooks on the grill, I love his food.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Favorite thing. Breakfast. I love eggs and pancakes.
That's I mean, breakfast is always a big part too. Most important meal of the day, right?
Yeah.
Looking at your baseball career too, I think you were making a lot of people out too, exciting the crowd. I want to know what's the loudest you've ever made a crowd though in your baseball career.
I don't know. I think probably that this year's Austintown Fitch game. That was a big game that I was throwing in. The dugout was going crazy. The fans loved it. It was awesome.
So we asked you about your childhood dreams. I want to know about the childhood cartoons that you watched on a Saturday morning.
Ooh, I loved the Boomerang channel. So like the old cartoons, like the Flintstones, Tom and Jerry, all that. It was awesome. I love that. My dad put me onto that when I was a kid.
If you could live in any cartoon world, what cartoon would you want to live in?
Oof. Probably the Jetsons. Flying cars, technology. That's awesome.
I love it. I love it. Looking at your career too, I guess to talk about just all the coaching styles that you've played under and the coaching styles you're going to continue to play under. What's some advice that has stuck out with you throughout your life in baseball career and or just day-to-day life?
Really just go out and do it. I forget the word. As basic as it sounds. Just go out, do it, have fun. That's really it. Playing baseball, especially in your own head, is just a runaway train. You can't do it.
Something that we do with all of our player profiles, we want to give you the chance to shout out your support system and the people that are always there for you throughout your journey.
Yeah, my parents, my grandparents, mom and dad Gebhardt, grandma, grandpa Gebhardt, they're awesome people. They've been there behind me the whole ride. And I really couldn't do it without them. My mother pushes me really, really hard. My mom and my dad really, they've probably been my biggest motivation. And then my grandparents have just been there the whole time supporting me at every game. Can't remember a game they weren't at. So I want to thank them for that, really.
Braden, we want to, of course, wish you the best of luck on your season with Dura Edge. We hope it can go as far as it obviously can. Congratulations on that. Congratulations on the great season with Howland. And we'll look forward to continue coverage of your baseball career with the YSU Penguins, too. Once you play with Coach Bernalini, we'll be looking forward to seeing you this next upcoming spring.
All right. I can't wait.
All right, Braden, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. See you.
All right, Braden Gebhardt from Dura Edge, 18U, Howland, YSU, all teams we cover. He's not rid of YSN by a long shot.
No, he's going to be a YSN athlete heading into the next 4 years of his career too, because the voice of Richard Giuliano, and we cover the YSU Penguins baseball team as well. So we'll be able to cover his career going forward.
That's why I love when athletes pick YSU, because that means that our coverage of them doesn't stop after high school. We don't have to say, okay, bye guys, see you soon. It's let's continue our coverage. And that's why I'm so excited. If you missed it a couple of weeks ago, we announced that we have partnered with the PAC network to start simulcasting their broadcasts of PAC athletics, which is Westminster, Grove City, Bethany. I'm not going to be able to name all of them off my head.
Yeah, I think it's like Baldwin Wallace,
Jefferson, Washington, Jefferson. I think there's one extra one for football season.
Yeah. But
anyway, point is, we are excited to have coverage of that conference, which we will have a lot of YSN members go to with some of the schools. So can't wait to do that either.
I'm excited to continue this coverage of YSU baseball, because you look at this YSU baseball team. There's a lot of names that have recently committed there too. I mean, we've seen names from the Canfield realm, and we know how good that Canfield team is that is going out to Youngstown State. That's going to be huge for them, a huge pick me up, a huge boost. I like what Coach Bertolini's doing. Whatever he's selling, these local kids are buying it too, and they're going with that Ohio against the world mentality. And how can you not love it if you're local right now?
You know what? If you know, if you're in the mindset or don't know how good the talent is in this area for every sport, just look at YSU, who is a pretty, in the grand scheme of colleges, they're a high caliber college. They're a Division I school. They're starting to recruit local talent a lot more. One of the knocks on YSU athletics maybe 8 years ago was you're not getting enough of Youngstown's talent. Well, now Youngstown's talent is just too good to pass up. You're talking, we have football players going to YSU from Dylan Dominguez and Bo Bungard.
Yeah.
They're both going to YSU. We got volleyball starting to get into YSU with Abby Householder from Canfield. We have, basketball. We have local basketball talent starting to kind of find their way to YSU. And now, baseball, softball is loaded with local YSN Youngstown area talent. So if anyone tries to say that this area isn't getting better talent-wise, all you have to do is look at the Division I school that we have, 10 minutes away from most teams and say, hey, they're starting to notice these kids and they're starting to want our local talent because it is that good.
And it's been good for a while, but it's just nice to see a lot of it stay local now, so you can see these names continue their careers too, and hopefully even continue it further too. You don't know, with the talent that some of these guys have, you never know what kind of things they'll be able to do and how much growth they'll have in the college season. You don't know. Maybe one day you'll see these guys playing at a minor league ballpark, or maybe eventually at the Mecca too, as we've seen all kinds of stories like that, especially in northeastern Ohio, of guys that have the talent to make it all the way to the big leagues.
Michael Turner had a really good season at Arkansas, who is a champion grad, spent his years at YSU and then transferred to Arkansas to finish out his college baseball career. So, that's a guy that might get some looks. The year he had for Arkansas, a lot of people in Arkansas thought he was just kind of an add-on and he wasn't going to do much. And in the Arkansas baseball community, I've seen some interviews from the beginning of the season. Not so fast. He had a great season, so he might be getting some professional looks. When you have a season like that on a team that went to the College World Series, that's going to open some eyes. That might be a local kid that punches his ticket into a major league franchise.
And that would be really cool too. And we've seen that story play out with plenty of athletes locally before, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that these ones that are going to YSU and these ones that are playing for the Scrappers that we know that from local ties.
Perfect segue, because once again, I want to shout out to the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, who are home tonight. We have 4 tickets to any remaining home game on the Scrappers schedule. We are giving away today, like we do every Friday. The trivia question today is the same as last week because no one got the answer in last week. So it is, what is the date, the exact date, month, date, year of the grand opening of Eastwood Field in Niles? If you can be the first to comment or send us that on Twitter or on Facebook, then you will have 4 free tickets to any of the remaining Scrappers home games. They are, upper box tickets, and they can be redeemed at the Chevy All-Stars box office. And you can upgrade the tickets for like $2 to get to the lower box if you want to get a little bit better seats even. So those tickets would be free for you. And if you're one of the winners, if you're the winner of today's trivia question, you'll have free tickets to any remaining home game on the Scrappers 2022 schedule.
And you absolutely should take advantage of it too, because there's plenty of days where you can book a ticket for 4 tickets, I should say, for you and three of your friends or family members to get out there to the ballpark and enjoy a night at Eastwood Field.
Scrappers are home tonight against West Virginia. They're home all weekend against West Virginia. And like we said before, a very big series for the Scrappers. They're sitting in 4th place right now in the draft league. West Virginia in 2nd, but this is a team that the Scrappers have dominated of late, especially at home. So they need to shore up this series against West Virginia, maybe gain some ground on the top tier teams.
Would definitely be huge if the Scrappers are able to do so and pull off some big victories.
They're 2.5 games back of West Virginia, so a series win, if they win 2 out of 3, that will give them another game in up in the standings. It would only be 1.5 game back of that 2 spot.
That's the biggest thing, right? Is you got to win that first one. If you win that first one, it gives you all kinds of momentum. You need to be able to get back into these standings. It'll give you some confidence getting in.
And then, a perfect scenario, they get the sweep. They jump West Virginia in the standings altogether.
You never know. One weekend can definitely change everything in baseball. We've seen it happen on all sorts of levels, and it can happen right here, right now, starting tonight.
Are they in a little bit of a tough spot? Yeah, but that's why that big start they had really helps them out, because they went, I think, 10-1, if I'm not mistaken, before they started to waver a little bit. So they're sitting at 14-14 right now, but because of that big start, they're still right in the thick of these standings.
Absolutely, and there's still plenty of time to turn the season back around and get back into your winning ways, and a lot more wins than losses. And it could start tonight with a big win and a way to start the series.
Ty, I think one of the big conversation points in baseball right now, because of what Rob Manfred has said, maybe a week ago, about the possibilities of robotic umpires in the near future of the MLB, which, as we know, everything trickles down. We've said that before. We've seen it before. So you'd think if they put it in the MLB, it's eventually going to work its way down to college. It's going to work its way down to high school in the years to come. It will take a while, I think, because obviously you have to find means to pay for robot umpires at the lower levels. But still, it will eventually trickle down if it happens. You know that. What do you think about, taking away the human factor behind the plate?
It's going to see. I don't know, because I kind of sit on the fence, but I tend to lean a little bit more towards I like a little human error in baseball.
It's really hard now that every broadcast has the strike box, and you can argue on how really accurate that really is based on, if where they say the pitch is really where the pitch crossed the plate. Who knows? But now every game, especially if you watch MLB, you can pick out maybe 10 strikes that on their map are way off the strike zone that are called a strike, and it's a bad look. And I think that's why they're answering the questions and saying, well, maybe we need robotic umpires, because now it's blasted on social media every night. Hey, look at what this guy missed. I mean, the ball's, 3 balls off of their little strike zone on the broadcast, and the umpire's saying strike 3. So because of social media and because of every broadcast now having that little strike box, whether it be ESPN, Bally Sports, Fox, whatever you're watching on, they all have that same technology. Because of that, umpires are getting blasted on their balls and strikes.
And it's not tough to always pick out 95 to 100 mile an hour fastballs that cross the plate, but this is all.
Here's the thing, without that strike zone, it wouldn't, people wouldn't pick up on all the mistakes. They might pick up on a couple, be like, hey, that didn't really look right. But now we have a big glaring square that tells you that wasn't a strike and you called it a ball.
But I think it also goes back to the local ties and shows how forgiving we should be for these local umpires too, and realize that even at the major league level, it's a hard job to make sure you are 100% accurate with balls and strikes. So understand and be a little bit understanding and when a local umpire may miss a ball here or there.
We're talking about the locals that are almost volunteering, and for the summer, some travel teams, some travel tournaments, they are volunteering. Yeah, you should probably take a little bit of a break from them. Let me ask you, Ty, are you okay with an MLB umpire having a 75% correct rate?
There's some point where it has to be
Angel Hernandez.
Oh my God.
His ball strike rate is a 70% correct rate. So he's missing 30% of his ball strikes.
And I'm all right with the human error element. I do like having personable umpires, but I feel like you do need to set some sort of standard to it.
A perfect compromise is robot behind the plate and human umpires everywhere else, because then you have that still human error element of did the foot hit the bag or did the guy make the catch or whatever it may be, because replay can't catch everything, so you'll still have that. But at some point, like, we have to say, hey, that ball was in the river and it's called a strike. Like, can't happen. And it's not supposed to happen.
But there's some of the. What are you gonna do then for those pitches? Because there's some umpires at home plate where those borderline pitches are called strikes. What are you gonna do with technology for that then? Or is that gonna be a strike? Because if that's strike permanently, then pitchers have a bigger zone now, and if it's not, it has to be fully across the plate or not borderline.
I think if it was robot, it'd be the definition of the strike zone, the width of the plate, and then the knees to the sternum.
So as long as it crosses over at any point, so even the borderlines would be called strikes.
There would probably be a sensor at the top of at the front of the plate that says the ball either crossed that how
light up. The plate can light up if a ball crosses it, I guess.
Right.
But you would
come up with something
in the ball too.
But here's the other thing: like, pitchers would hate it because then they have to throw strikes. Like, there's no like, oh, I threw it in the river. I threw it on the black and they gave me the strike call. Like, you got to throw it in the strike zone. And that's obviously going to let MLB hitters get a lot more hits on you.
And
I think it's all a ploy to get offensive numbers even further up.
If they're thinking about adding robotic umpires, it absolutely is. That's also why they're thinking about banning the shift, making the bases bigger, and all other weird decisions.
If the shift banning didn't tell you that they want offensive numbers to even go up further, then the robot umpires should absolutely tell you they want offensive numbers to go up.
Because they see guys like Giancarlo Stanton that are hitting all these home runs, but he's batting 196 because they're just putting a righty shift on him. So now they want to just be like, no, you can't do that anymore. So we need to see that average up there. We need to inflate these numbers somehow.
I've always been flabbergasted why we're making it easier for professional hitters. Like,
I feel
all you have, like, a professional hitter should be able to hit the ball the other way. Like, you're a pro.
It's taking a strategy out of the game. It'd be literally like the NFL being like, all right, no more cover twos. You got to figure it out.
What? Patrick Mahomes struggling with cover two. Let's get out of that. You can't do that anymore.
No more cover two schemes. You got to set up in something different. You can't do cover two anymore.
You can't. No more zero blitzes. Can't do it.
It's like, why are we taking strategies out of the game like that? I mean, it's like, is simple.
Now, if we said no more prevent defense,
really better. What?
I said, now if we said no more prevent defense, that might make people happy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. No more prevent. You have to play straight up with that one might be that might.
How many leads have been given up because a team like, well, we're going to play prevent.
Prevent defense. But yeah, I don't know, because I just try to relate it to the local levels too. And I mean, that's just another perfect case of why we should be forgiving of these officials. And like I say, and I try to say all the time, like, understand that these guys, just like the high school athletes and the athletes on the floor or on the field, these guys aren't professionals either too. They're going to be making mistakes. And I think it really showcases how good some of these local umpires are, because they do a pretty good job of calling a solid strike zone, considering how hard of a job it is.
If baseball did that, it'd be like the first sport to have a totally automated official make calls. I know tennis has the thing that tells you if it was out or in on a tennis ball.
Yeah.
I think they're probably looking at that, saying, hey, if tennis can do it, then we can have it in
I mean, how many other sports can we really get there? Because I feel like NFL or football, you can't. I feel like you need that human element to pay attention to penalties, because what's going to be able to call the penalties unless you have a million cameras set up everywhere?
The only thing you can do in football is have the field goal have the sensor and say he either hit the field goal or he didn't.
Yeah, that's the only other.
And how many field goals have been really contested in NFL history? Like, maybe like the 3 field goals that get kicked high enough that they went over the goalpost and you didn't know if they really crossed that upright or not. Like, maybe 3.
Is there really any way you can do basketball any more automated? I don't think so. I feel like
no, because that's all just fouls.
It's fouls. You can't really automate foul calling in either sport. So baseball's.
Once again, the only thing you could do in basketball is put a sensor on the 3-point line and say, we know for sure 100% if any part of your foot went over this line.
Yeah, and that might be what we see too. They could probably do it in the bases too for baseball.
Here's what I like about football. What if we had like a sensor for the first down marker? So there was no more measuring, no more guessing the spot. It's the ball either crossed this line or it didn't. And I think the USFL has that, right? Doesn't the USFL have something where they
I think so. Yeah, something like that. What it might.
I like that idea because then, like, sometimes I'm like, these refs are just guessing on where that ball was, right? Like, if there's a pileup, that's your best guess. It's not like I know for sure the ball was there.
You're right though, as far as like the sensors are going to be the way to do it, and it might just come down to where there's just one umpire that just kind of mans the video in the back and just checks all the video and just like looks at the sensors and just, all right, he beat him here, out, just calls that. Because if something's calling balls and strikes for you, they want to do two things with baseball right now. They want to first and foremost make more offense, but they also want to make the game quicker. And how much quicker is the game going to be if there's no arguing with balls and strikes anymore? Can
you imagine going out and arguing with the idea,
screaming at the plate? The plate that called a strike, just standing over it, kicking dirt on it, spitting sunflower seeds on it. The plate throws you out, just lights up. You're out.
Lights up red.
You're done. It's the red light. Stop. X. You're done. Get out. Oh man, automation and I mean technology. I'm all right with baseball utilizing technology, but I am a fan still of utilizing or having some human error elements to it, considering that baseball's already kind of corrected a lot of those human error elements on the bases with replay and instituting instant replay and being able to challenge calls. That's kind of fixed all of that. But the problem is it ups the time it takes to get through a game. And that's the thing. It's like it's counterintuitive. You're trying to use more offense and create more offense, but also trying to shorten the game. But more offense is what makes a game longer and makes long innings and stuff. It seems counterintuitive what baseball is trying to do.
That is true. I never really made that point.
You want more offense, well, that makes the innings longer, but you also want the games to be shorter. Like how many 11 to 10 games end in 2.5 hours? Like
not many.
Like it doesn't happen. So I don't know what baseball is thinking in that front. I'm all right with utilizing technology, but like I said, I am a fan of having some human error element to it.
You want to utilize technology, then utilize the mic'd up versions of these players when they're out in the outfield or out at bat. That's like some of the best content to come out of baseball is in the spring training when they mic up players while they're at the bat. I love talking to them from the broadcast booth.
What was it at the one All-Star game where they did it with Bryce Harper and like a ball got hit to him? He's like, "Hold on, gotta catch this!" Like in the live interview, and I think he dove for it too. He's like, "Hold on, gotta make this play."
And then I like they're hitting and they take it and they go, "What was that? Was that a slider?" yeah, John. It was. Cool.
Just how just average the conversations are, just business as usual between everyone. It's great. I love the mic'd up versions too. That's what we like too, and that's what I like as far as like when you utilize technology is just getting more personable with these athletes too, and knowing them at a more personal level. I think it's awesome too, and that's what we're trying to do here. You see it with YSN and what we try to utilize as well, and that's I mean, to just kind of go back to that parody comment, it showcases what we're trying to do here at a local level, just getting closer with these student athletes as they're playing. We've had some mic'd up cases too, at least from the sidelines, which has worked out tremendously, and I've loved to see it on our broadcast.
I want to remind everyone one more time before we get into the preview of the games that are on the network tonight. 4 free tickets are being given away today to any remaining Mahoning Valley Scrappers game that you want for their home stand. And it is the first person to answer the question of what was the exact date of the grand opening of Eastwood Field and Niles. If you can give us that, the first to give us that wins 4 tickets once again to any remaining home game for the Scrappers this season, including this weekend stand.
Should be fun too. It should be energetic, and it should be a great time. I'll tell you else what's energetic too. If you ever listen to this iSynergy commercial, this music that's in the background, it gets me energized too. We're gonna take our final break. Thank our last sponsors of the day, and we'll get into our last part of the show where we'll preview the games on the network tonight and this weekend for you here on Ysn Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
We are Kent State in the Valley. Start and finish one of more than 25 bachelor's or associate degree programs, or start one of Kent State's 280 majors. With low tuition, public, and plenty of scholarship opportunities, we will help you maximize your education and minimize student debt. Enjoy the benefits of a smaller campus with all the opportunities of a large university. Save money, stay close to home. Apply today by visiting kent.edu/Trumbull.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience, WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit WRSwealth.com. Good luck, athletes!
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell as we venture into the final stretch of this Friday episode, Ty, I'm going to have you bring up the games at a glance schedule and see what we have on the slate for the weekend as far as YSN and games on the network go.
Yeah, and all right. I just want to make sure I was unmuted. Yeah, for tonight, starting at the 50-70 tournament, it is going to be Game 7 at McCoon Park Field 4, 1 p.m. That's Matt Mayer doing the call. He's also going to be doing the 4 p.m. Game 2 at Game 8 at Field 4. So that actually going on right now, and it's going well into 4 o'clock as well for the start of Game 2. So Matt Mayer will have the call for you on that one. Going into BCB, 6 p.m. baseball at L1. DJ Yoakley going to have the call for the 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. game on L1. And then 8 p.m. on L3. Matt Mayer going to have the call there as well. So this guy, Matt Mayer, going from McCoon Park all the way to BCB to get a game under his belt there as well.
I tip my hat to you, my good sir.
Doing good work for sure. And David Williams going to be covering the Class B games tonight, 5:30, Scene 1. As we said, that's going to be Nightline and Creekside, followed by Scene 1, 8 p.m. between both Astro Falcon and Dura Edge. There's also the Scene 3 championship game that's going to be video only at 7 p.m. between Whiting and Creekside. That's Game 2 for that one. Rounding out the games on the network tonight, it's going to be a total of 8 games that are going to be free for you. Oh, I almost forgot, too. At the bottom, Scrapper is 7:05. Yeah, Richie Giuliano's got West Virginia at Mahoning Valley, who start their series tonight as well. Didn't want to forget you guys there. That's 9 games on the network tonight for you.
More tickets.
You still got a little bit of time before the show runs out for sure. Going in to Saturday's action, July 9th, it's going to be Class B, 4:30. At Scene 1, Ian O'Brien going to have the call. 4:30 at Scene 2, it's going to be Alec Caberna. And then 6 p.m. at Scene 3 is going to be video only. Followed by the 7 p.m. starts at Scene 1 and 2. Ian O'Brien and Alec Caberna are going to stay on for those ones. 50-70 tournament going to start at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Game 9 at McCoon Park Field 4. Richie Giuliano is going to have the call for you on that one. And it looks like you're going to have a couple of games as Steel Valley is going up against Ohio Valley Hurricanes, the green team, at 8 a.m. And then 11 a.m., the Ohio Monsters 16U black team. Exciting for this one. What do you want to give us a little bit of a preview for this game?
Getting right back into travel softball after a week off for Steel Valley Storm. We're playing in the Lady Spartans Invitational at the Field of Dreams this weekend. So we will have a game tonight that won't be on the network, unfortunately. Against the Dream Crushers, which scares me. It's like, why are you naming that? And then we'll have those 2 games that you talked about tomorrow against the Hurricanes and the Monsters. We've played the Monsters before this season. We beat them in the semifinals the last weekend we were out in the Steel Valley Storm tournament. So we're familiar with that team. First time playing the Hurricanes and the Dream Crushers. So excited to see what they bring to the table. Hopefully Steel Valley Storm can get another bracket day win on Sunday and bring home some more hardware. I'm excited for it. Second to last tournament of this season for Steel Valley Storm. They have this one, and then they'll be off in Columbus. We will be off in Columbus because I am part of that team. We'll be off in Columbus next weekend for the All-Sanctioned World Series at Berliner Park.
Yeah, we're excited for that one, certainly, as it's going to be a great time on the network. We're looking forward to those games tomorrow, starting off at 8 in the morning. So 8 a.m. sharp, early softball.
Wake up early with Anthony. Let's go.
Let's go. 10 a.m. too, also early morning. BCB baseball at L1. Matt Mayer going to have the call for you on that one. And then, of course, following on the nightcap with the late start, 7:05 p.m. West Virginia and Mahoning Valley going to do battle in Game 2 of their series. Richard Giuliano, again, going to have the call. So from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., we got you covered on the network tomorrow. So a lot of baseball, softball coverage for you.
And then on Sunday, we'll have even more.
Yeah, going into Sunday as well, which has been crazy. Sundays usually during the high school seasons are usually a quiet day for YSN. Not during the summer, though. Sunday's fun day during the summer. Class B is going to have a game at 5:30 if it's needed Matt Mayer will have the call on that one. He'll also have the call at 7:30 on Scene 1 for that game that will be happening. There's also a 50-70 tournament, and again, Matt Mayer, his name is attached to that at 11 a.m. Game 10 championship game at McCoon Park, Field 4. He'll be there for that one. And then also there's a fourth game on the network on Sunday, too. All these games, well, you get to start off with 11 a.m., go into the 5 o'clock hour, but also in between, but before that 7 o'clock game at Scene and after the 11 o'clock game at McCoon, you get Richie Giuliano 2:05 at Mahoning Valley as West Virginia and Mahoning Valley complete their 3-game series with a 2:05 afternoon start at Eastwood Field.
There will also be softball for bracket play for the Steel Valley Storm, but it's not scheduled yet because we don't know who or when we'll be playing until after pool play. So keep an eye on that, and we'll make sure that that is shared. You can also watch those games on Game Changer on the Storm's Game Changer page if you're interested in that. So we'll have softball on Sunday as well as Saturday, and it's going to be a fun time. That's a total of what a lot. I couldn't keep track of all the numbers. It's a lot of games on the network. I can't have the games.
Right now we have 9 tonight. We have 4 scheduled on Sunday, and we have a total of for Saturday is our big day. We got 10 on that day, so we have a total of 23. MJ, LeBron, if you prefer, plenty of good 23s.
At least 24, and if Steel Valley Storm gets a couple of wins, maybe we can get that up to 25 and 26. So
yeah, so
hoping for a big Sunday, hoping for a big weekend. It's a big weekend at Ysn regardless, and we can't wait to share the results with you on Monday. We're going to take a 70-hour break, as we always do. We're going to get out of here a little bit early. I think we're just a little bit earlier than normal, but my
little bit.
My phone's battery is like
a little bit behind, but we're an odd day. But great day indeed. We also want to thank both Jack Hale and Braden Gebhardt, of course, for their time joining us after that big Dura Edge win, and it should be fun. Join them tonight on the network as you'll see Dura Edge do battle with Astro Falcon.
Game 1 of the semifinals, and we could have a championship series set by Sunday. But I think no matter what, by Monday, we will have a championship series set in 18U, and we might have a champion by Monday in 16U. Who knows? You'll have to stick with us and find out on Monday from 12 to 2. Casual Sports Podcast coming up next from 2 to 3. Power Hour 3 to 4, and then a bunch of games on the network tonight. Enjoy your evening, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to Running Point